All right, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for UFC 276. This one is at middleweight. Probably a title eliminator, almost certainly a title eliminator, I would say, at least if Pereira wins. But yeah, honestly, man, probably the fight I'm looking forward to the most on this card, which is saying a lot, especially after the press conference today went about as well as you would expect, putting Sean Strickland out there on the press conference, getting all the clicks, generating all the headlines, and yeah, man, just I'm looking so forward to this fight. Like since it was announced, this is the fight I've been looking forward to the most on this card. But yeah, we got Pereira is gonna have a 4 inch reach advantage, and he's gonna be 3 inches taller. Typically the case with him. So I'll start with him. If you don't know the deal with him by now, I'll just fill you in real quick. Probably one of the most highly skilled kickboxers on the entire roster. That is where he has done most of his work in his career. It's why he's only 5-1, but he's got a lot of kickboxing bouts, glory champion, and of course, the main thing on his resume, at least in terms of MMA, is he has the 2 wins over Israel Adesanya. One of them was by knockout. So that's why they've given him an expedited path to the title here. I'm not sure if it's in his contract or not. It might be, but yeah, it looks like they're going to try to do 3 wins and then just get him back in there with Izzy. They need a nice build up like that for Adesanya. The Whitaker fight didn't get the build up I think it would have gotten because Adesanya's contract wasn't signed at that point. But now that it's signed and Adesanya is kind of like their top dog now, with McGregor just doing whatever the fuck he does these days. Adesanya, they're trying to make him that top guy. So they want Pereira. Like, there is no questions asked that they want Pereira. And they might see a hole, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, man, I'll make this as simple as I can make it. Pereira has some of the best kicking game on the roster. And the main question is how is his grappling and how is his cardio too? Because kickboxing shorter rounds and both look pretty good. He's gotten some good tests in the UFC. Against Michailidis, he gets taken down early. It's looking like, oh shit, like maybe this guy just has no ground game whatsoever. And Michailidis just gonna steal this hype train, or not? Michailidis was never gonna steal the hype train. Let's say he's gonna derail the hype train. But yeah, man, he gets up and he ends up putting Michailidis away in the second round. Good test, get your feet wet against the guy who's got some level of wrestling. They wouldn't put him in there with a guy who would just grapple fuck him. It's so funny to me, man, when you read people on Twitter and shit who don't understand that the UFC is basically like the WWE, where like they're not just gonna put the most skilled guys together because they have to. Like, like if there's a fighter that doesn't speak English, they can win like 15 fights, and if they're just grapple fucking people, then yeah, they're gonna not get to the title as fast as like a crazy motherfucker like Sean Strickland or a guy like Pereira who's got like a built-in narrative. So of course they want to build Pereira up. Like it makes all the sense in the world, and they put him in there with Bruno Silva in his second fight. And Bruno Silva, man, love Bruno Silva. Wish he came to the UFC just a couple years before. He probably would have been one of the top dogs. But yeah, his chin was on point in that one. Silva's was because Pereira was hitting him with some shit. But he takes him down the first round, kind of steals that round. Maybe it's debatable, but then Pereira starts to get in a rhythm, really gets the striking going, and almost had him out of there, but didn't. And it's more of a testament to Bruno Silva's will. Again, very game fighter. He kind of knew that that was like his big chance to really just vault his way up. So he brought his A game that night, and Pereira looked good, man. Again, the get ups were there. So I like what I've seen so far. And then going into Sean Strickland, just been kicking ass since coming back from the motorcycle accident. Pre-motorcycle accident, his losses are very respectable. Kamaru Usman, Santiago Ponzinibbio, and Elizeu Zaleski de los Santos. Not gonna let that one slip by me. But yeah, man, it's just looked so good. Hasn't lost since coming back. Kicks the shit out of Jack Marshman, like talking to him during the fight, just like being weird and crazy. And then he beats Brendan Allen. Awesome performance there. Quick turnaround. It was like 2 weeks, I believe, and puts a big blemish on Brendan Allen's resume. Strickland was, I believe, a 2-1 underdog in that one, and then he comes back against Jocko. Easy money there. Just cruises to unanimous decision. Uriah Hall, same deal. Works in some grappling. Jack Hermanson, it's a little bit closer. Strickland just was kind of conservative in that fight, you know? And like that's the thing with Sean Strickland, man. Just everything about him doesn't make sense. You look at his striking; he's got this like old timey boxing stance, and he just doesn't stop throwing jabs. Like it's like here it is, you gotta try to solve it. You know, you usually see that with wrestling, but Sean Strickland's just like I'm just gonna be in your face, throwing jabs, and the way he just like slithers out of the way of shots is so funny to me. Like his movement, getting out of the way of head kicks and stuff, is so wonky, but also concerning. And here is the main thing that concerns me in this fight. I see two outcomes: Sean Strickland by points or Alex Pereira head kick knockout. Because this is what I've always thought about Sean Strickland's game. And before he went on this tear here, I thought like I can't wait to fade Sean Strickland one day. Because he just leans back with his head like straight up. And against a guy like Bahia who can just get that head kick up there in like a second, like half a second, like before you even see that he's throwing it, it's connecting. Like, he's got that speed and he's that fast and he's that flexible and he's got 4 inches in reach. I do worry about he gets like the exact read on when Strickland's just going to move his head back and he just gets a highlight reel KO. I see that happening. But if Strickland's gonna win, it's gonna be just jab in his face and work in the wrestling. Like I think that has become a popular narrative in this fight. Everybody's kind of looking at that, saying if Strickland can wrestle, we're good to go. If he can't, then he's gonna be in trouble striking with Alex Bahia. But we look at the odds here, man. It's even money. Strickland. Wow, Strickland is the favorite now, and on DK, I didn't highlight it, but where is it? He is the same deal, minus 120. So that's crazy, man. The line flipped, and I'm going to go with Sean Strickland, and it's really a coin toss fight. I decided on it late. I decided too late on all of these lines. They were all so much better earlier in the week. Like, I wish I got Duplessis, geez. Duplessis at plus 108 earlier in the week. Like, man, like, that's crazy. But, I wonder if it's just a little bit of like the public is on Sean Strickland now. My buddy loves to fade the public every time. I don't know about that. Sometimes the public is on the right thing. And is Sean Strickland going to be a public pick? I don't know. Maybe. But I just look, here's the thing. Like, does Pahea have better striking than Sean Strickland? Yes, absolutely. Like, from a pure technical standpoint, yeah. But Sean Strickland just knows how to win these rounds, man. And I did think that Pahea's cardio looked a little suspect, a little bit. And if you got Sean Strickland just in your face, not letting you get set on anything, it doesn't matter if Pahea is landing some heavy shots. I think that Sean Strickland has all the tools to just steal these rounds with volume. And I do think that he is going to work in the wrestling, man. I think he's going to at least just salt these rounds away, get some clinch control, wrestle, because for all the crazy shit that Sean Strickland says and this whole persona he plays, he is very crafty. It's I wonder if there's a little bit of gamesmanship with like he's at the press conference talking about his striking and shit, how he's got the best striking. Granted, he was kind of set up for that question, but that's like it's like, is he doing that? Is he trying to like lure Pahea into like, oh, I'm gonna show you, man, I'm gonna outstrike you, and then he'll just go in there and get the win by any means necessary? I mean, that's what Kamaru Usman used to do all the time. So I don't know, man. It's not a high betting priority for me, especially with Sean Strickland being the favorite now. I only put it in like a small parlay. That's kind of how I feel about this card. There's a lot of fights that I like to take, like, that I don't mind the idea of like a shot on, but in terms of finding like the big couple unit bets, I struggled to find those. Again, it's the same deal. Like, there's a couple I like the idea of, but a lot of like the 3-1 dogs this week are a little scary to me. But anyways, yeah, man, I like Sean Strickland ever so slightly, but I see two outcomes: head kick knockout for Pahea, decision win for Sean Strickland. One of those two. So if you want to go method, I'm not going to. I might like just off the books, but in terms of like a tracked bet, half a unit or a unit, I don't feel like doing that. So Yeah, man, Sean Strickland ever so slightly, but I would not at all be surprised if it goes the other way. So, thanks for watching, guys. Sure to subscribe and take it easy.